Whoa, it's a beautiful day to do these reactions, man. Listen, like it before you light it, hit the sub before you hit the bud, join the team before you hit the green, and don't forget the
hype me up, hype me up, hype me up.
Say, bro, I be reading them comments. Yeah, bro, somebody gonna say, man, Will, like one of them old uncles after finding out technology, he leaving voice messages and stuff to people comments, bro. Stop playing with me, dog. They said I sound like an old nigga. It is what it is. Serious matter right here, though, dog. They are quarantining people on a specific cruise ship because something called hantavirus. Now, we're going to get into the bottom of this, dog, because evidently people is dying. They waking up dead on this cruise, bro.
I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now.
So in the comments, dog, somebody said, y'all clearly don't know what hantavirus is. Hantavirus isn't something to take lightly. The government is doing the right thing. They would get quarantined on land as well. But this is smarter, easier to control. This is actually right. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're in the middle of the ocean somewhere, bro. So they can't spread it to us. You get what I'm saying? They're in the middle of nowhere, basically. So the transmission of this is going to be limited, which is a good thing. It sucks for them, but for the overall population, this is the correct protocol. I ain't seen a drama. I ain't seen a damn thing about this and thought this was a skit. Excuse me while I do some Googling. Nah, this is real, dog. Ain't nothing skit about it. This is the current situation that these people are going through.
3 people have sadly died on a cruise ship from hantavirus, and here's what you need to know. Cruise ships are essentially a confined, recirculating super spreader nightmare. Thousands of people, shared space, shared air, shared surfaces, and absolutely nowhere to go. So what is hantavirus? Hantavirus is a virus that's spread by rodents, mostly from their shit or their piss or their saliva. And you don't need to be bitten. All you have to do is inhale some of the contaminated particles. Symptoms start like a bad flu, fever, muscle aches, fatigue, you know the drill. But then it gets serious really fast. And it gives people something called hantavirus lung syndrome, where your lungs just basically fill with fluid. And at that point, your oxygen levels drop, your blood pressure drops, and without immediate intervention, you die. And here's the scary part, it's got a 40% mortality rate. That means that for every 100 people that contract it, 40 people will die. And there's no specific treatment, it's just supportive treatment only. And on a cruise ship, the risks are increased because you're in a small space. We know the rodents like to get in and about the kitchen and the storage areas. All that air is being recirculated throughout the cruise ship. Hantavirus is no joke, and that's why you're hearing so many people talk about it.
Yo,
3 people.
This is wild, bro. This is wild, man. Somebody said, I was thinking about going on a cruise, but count me out. Ain't that something, dog? Holy shit. And this is why I never do a cruise. I don't cruise. Never will you find me on a cruise, bro. That is wild, dog.
If hantavirus is not normally transmitted from person to person, how is it possible, do you think, that multiple people on the ship have the virus?
Yeah, a hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship was not on my top 50 or even 100 things that I would worry about for a cruise ship. I and other experts really think there are 3 possibilities here. The first is that a bunch of folks were exposed when they were traveling off the ship. Maybe they went to a cave or to a house that had rodent droppings that got aerosolized and they all got infected there. The second possibility, which would worry me if I were a cruise ship owner, is that there were mice or other rodents on the cruise ship that were running around and exposed a bunch of folks. The third possibility, and the one that most worries folks like me, public health experts, emergency physicians, is the possibility that there could be person-to-person transmission. And Jake, here's the important part. There has been a report of one strain of hantavirus in Argentina, known as the Andes strain, which is known to cause limited person-to-person transmission. Many of us are worried that it may be that strain that got onto the boat and that may be spreading, but it's far too early to know.
Dog, rats have been knocking human beings off for a long time. Isn't the bubonic plague similar to this, or rodents, right? You know what? It's different because it was the fleas on the rodents that was biting people and getting them infected. I want to say that's what it was, man. That's crazy though. But all throughout human history, bro, there's always been some damn mice and rats that got the job done, bro.
We have a big update concerning the hantavirus outbreak on the cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Human-to-human transmission is now suspected, according to the World Health Organization. That's a significant development because hantavirus doesn't typically pass through human-to-human. But the World Health Organization told reporters today that they do know that some cases had very close contact with each other, and certainly human-to-human transmission can't be ruled out. So as a precaution, that is what we are assuming. That's from the WHO. The boat is still off of West Africa, and nearly 150 people, including 17 Americans, are currently stranded. It's a very serious situation. Typically, hantavirus passes through rodents' saliva or urine. 2 cases have been confirmed, 5 are suspected, so 7 total. Previously it was 6 total, now it's 7 total. 3 have died, a Dutch couple and a German national. 1 individual remains in intensive care. I'll have more updates for you soon. The threat to the general public is low, according to the WHO, but I know a lot of you have cared about what's happening, so I'm providing you updates. Spread the word, follow for more. We have a big...
Yo, this is wild. Somebody in the comment section said, we do not have the right administration to handle a pandemic. But what? Man, Donald Trump is an idiot, man. He is not the person we need to have in charge when something like this pop off, bro. The dude crazy. He already fucking up the global economy with the Strait of Hormuz and all that kind of stuff. Bro, whoever this is in the comment section, you right. Y'all know everything that Trump did is really going to have a trickle-down effect. Food going to go up. Gas already up. People are threatening to sell U.S. assets because they're being bled dry because of this war, like Saudi Arabia, the petrodollar and all of that kind of stuff. The oil money not coming in. So in order to keep themselves afloat, they're thinking about selling over $2 trillion worth of assets. U.S. assets. So, yeah, that's going to hurt us because of the actions of the nigga in charge. Crazy work.
Hantavirus is a virus transmitted mainly from rodents to humans.
It's the same rare disease that is blamed on the death of Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman, last year. Dr. Kavita Patel says symptoms can take days to appear.
It first manifests with like a cough or shortness of breath or something that's pulmonary, sometimes a fast heart rate, often with a fever. And as the virus kind of gets attack of the body, you can see other symptoms, including sepsis.
The World Health Organization says that while rare, hantavirus may spread between people.
Yeah, bro, I hate to say it, but bro, they got to keep them people on that boat, brother. I'm sorry, not sorry, dog. If it was me on that boat, it would suck. But I know what it is. They gonna keep me on that boat, man. That way I don't transmit it to y'all, bro. Like, come on now, it's common sense, dog. For the greater good, bro. A few people gotta suffer. That's fucked up, but it's a fact, dog. What do you think they quarantined for? This is a global thing. This is something that can mess up everybody. And like the last person said, bro, we don't got the right administration to handle this, dog. They don't even believe in science. They don't believe in science, bro. They really don't. Global warming don't exist to them, dog. This not the right administration.
This is where the lobby is.
In a video posted at the start of the voyage, an American travel blogger took his followers on a tour of the cruise ship, now stuck, unable to dock and to unload passengers amid a suspected hantavirus outbreak.
And what's happening right now is very real for all of us here.
In a new, tearful video, the blogger talks about the fears on board after 3 passengers died.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
Among the 149 on the ship are 4 Canadians, currently anchored off the coast of the capital of Cabo Verde, where officials won't allow the cruise ship to dock to, quote, protect public health.
It's one of those diseases that at the moment there's no specific treatment to cure the disease after someone becomes infected, and there isn't also a vaccine available to prevent people from getting infected.
The ship was on a cruise from Argentina and stopping at remote islands in the South Atlantic. 3 weeks ago, a 70-year-old Dutch passenger died, and after leaving the ship, so did his wife. Then a British man evacuated to this hospital in South Africa tested positive for hantavirus, and a 3rd German passenger died on Saturday. 2 crew members still on board also have acute respiratory symptoms and will be removed for medical care. Hantaviruses are rare, mainly transmitted through contact with rodents or their droppings. It's what killed the wife of actor Gene Hackman last year. Symptoms can take weeks to appear, and human-to-human transmission is not common.
This is very rare for hantaviruses. In fact, the only hantaviruses that are known to cause human-to-human transmission originate from South America, and in particular areas like Argentina.
In a statement, a WHO official stressed the risk to the wider public remains low. There is no need for panic or travel restrictions.
Meanwhile, experts say on average, there's only about 4 to 5 cases of hantavirus in Canada each year, typically linked to rodent exposures in rural parts of the western provinces.
Force is where the lobby is.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. People in the comments is going crazy, yo. They say, no, do not let them dock. Boy, hey, listen, she ain't for it. She not with the bullshit. The risk of spreading human to human is low. I've heard this song before. Yeah, bro, I don't like the tune of that song. That song off key. I'm so sorry, but we have to think about the safety of the greater population, bro. No, y'all not docking. Symptoms can take weeks to appear. Hey, bro. So does that mean that possibly those people got on the cruise ship with that shit already? You know, why are you so close to rodent urine and feces in the first place, dog? Like, how do you come into contact with that without knowing? You know, this is above my IQ grade, bro.
I am going to sound incredibly cold, callous in me when I say this, but the ship that is suspected to have the hantavirus does not need to dock anywhere. It is imperative that they stay their asses out in the ocean. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I am being like dead ass when I say that, because you have to understand hantavirus is scary shit. And if you don't know what it is, a brief summary is basically it is a zoonotic disease, which means that it is a disease that comes from animals that can be transferred to humans. It starts with rodents and their infection through feces, urine, saliva. But the thing is, once the bacteria is airborne, that is how humans can get it because we breathe it in. And then once it is airborne, it's incredibly easy to get. Sound very familiar? I bet it does. It sounds like COVID. Yes, correct. And the thing is, 3 people have already died on the ship. There are 3 more people sick. That virus has a gestation of 1 to 8 weeks, but you'll usually know between the 2nd and 4th week. But it's hard to detect because the symptoms are flu-like before it gets worse. And then once it gets worse, there's 2 versions. There's the one that attacks the kidneys, and there's one that attacks the upper respiratory lungs type. And it is not funny. These are real people. These are 150 people stranded on a ship where nowhere in the world nobody wants to allow them to dock and be able to, you know, try to live on with their lives and leave because it's such a serious disease. They need to stay there. And I hate to say that. That sounds callous. These are people's lives. But they need to stay there, because if that is to start to spread, we would have a COVID lockdown all over again.
And again, the right administration is not in place for some shit like this, dog. Listen, Nurse Ratchet says, I've seen hantavirus once. It scared me like no other disease ever has. I really do have immense empathy for the guy that made a video about how much he just wants to go home and how hard quarantine is. But being stuck on a boat with supplies readily available in a nice harbor for a few weeks is hardly a sacrifice to prevent a massive outbreak of highly contagious airborne, I don't even know that word. Y'all ain't gonna hold you. We not finna play on me today. Fever. Yeah, bro, that's tough right there. And this is putting the fear of God in a nurse. And you know, they see all kind of shit working, you know, the day to day. Them 12-hour shifts, you're gonna see some shit. And this is putting the fear of God in her. We not finna do this, dog. Nope. We don't need this in our life. We already broke. Gas already high. Dog, the other day, brother, I wasn't really paying attention to gas prices until the other day. I stuck my card in the machine and it said, please see cashier. So I go in the store because I got to get this gas. He said, how much gas you want? I said, man, look, just give me, you know, it's been about $100. Give me $100. I put that $100 in that motherfucker. Boy, that bitch ain't go really too far. Like, I said, damn, I'm going to have to go put another 50 in this bitch. Gas high. We don't need hantavirus, bro. That's what I'm getting at. Shit.
Oh my God, I just looked this up. This video is not to scare anybody, but also, not only did I look up the facts about this rare form of hantavirus, but also I looked up the whole entire timeline of the ship. Listen to this. So there is a particular strain of hantavirus that is rare, that is spread person to person, and it is often found in Chile and Argentina. This ship was from Argentina. That's where everybody got on the boat March 20th. It was part of a 35-day Southern Atlantic excursion.
35
They
days.
passed through Antarctica. They passed through, is it called South St. George Island or something like that, Georgia Island? Other small islands in the Southern Atlantic. Yes, people got off the boat to do excursions and stuff like that. Then on April 11th, a 70-year-old man got really sick and died. Doctors on board did not know that he had the hantavirus when he died. So then, April 12th through the 20th, the ship docks at St. Helena, which is like a very remote British island, and they take the body of the 70-year-old man off, and also his wife. She gets hospitalized in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Hell no.
Because she is now sick. They still do not know at this point that it's the hantavirus, right? Shortly after the wife's arrival in Johannesburg at the hospital, she dies. Then, on April 27th, the ship docks at Ascension Island. Mind you, nobody knows that there's the hantavirus on the ship at this point. But they have a second person who is very sick, so they get that person off the ship at Ascension Island. That person winds up dying in the hospital there, and that is the first lab confirmed positive test that it is hantavirus.
Man,
this
come
person
on,
died from
dog.
hantavirus. And all the while, people have been allowed off the ship to do excursions,
Right.
except for right now. They're not allowed off at Cape Verde, but they got off at Ascension
Hell
Island. They
no,
got off
bro.
at St. Helena. Some of the others that they stopped at that aren't as populated, but it sounds like it's human-to-human transmission. I know that everyone's saying but there's this. Look it up. Don't take my word for it.
We don't need this, goddammit. Shit, man. Bruh, honestly, I'm ready for another 3 years at home. I'm tired of people. Dog, you can't be this much tired of people, boy. You gonna die. No. Even though the Andy strain can be human to human transmission, it generally takes pretty close contact, like spouses sharing a room bed. Stay out my face. Y'all be getting too close to people you don't know anyway, bro. Give me 50 feet, dog. Arms length. Dog, I don't like people that invade your personal space, dog. And then you be strangers, too. Like, I don't know you. Why are you getting so close to me? Back up, man, before you get mushed. March 20th, you say. Because this is given March 2020. Oh, my God. Yeah, the parallels are uncanny.
I was meant to be on that ship, but I got a warning. So if you've been following me, you know I've been training to be the captain of a ship this whole time. You know I've done charters. You know I've done cruises. You know I've done little sailboats. I was getting ready to deploy onto the ship. The MV Hondius. Looks real good, don't it? I was excited. Then a friend of mine, I went to school with him, posh white guy. He tells me, bro, miss the flight. Don't go on that ship. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've been training for how many years to do my thing on cruise ships?
Boy, the white around your lip got some white around his lip, though.
And he said, bro, miss that flight. Do not get on that cruise. Later on, we find all those people on the cruise I was supposed to be on. They're trapped on that cruise now. 3 people have died. 1 guy, he's in intensive care. They're supposed to be docking in Cape Verde, and they're like, no,
don't bring it over here.
no docky, no, dangerous.
Yo, that is wild, bro. This is the bubonic plague damn near. Boy, you better be thanking your lucky stars. How did he know not to go on the ship? That's the question that needs to be answered. What did he know? Who he knew? Did you ask him what he knew? Was it just a feeling he had? I have so many questions. These are the comments I'm reading. Did you ask him why? Divine intervention, my friend. I'm calling BS. Somebody's always calling BS. That's your right. That's your right. That's your prerogative. God saved you. Thank you, God, for saving this person. Hey, dog, this is some wild shit.
I would be worried because the incubation period for hantavirus can be up to a week, can be very deadly. It can either take the form of a pulmonary disease, so it affects your lungs and your breathing, or it can be a hemorrhagic disease, affects your renal function, your kidney.
Y'all remember the word that I couldn't pronounce? He just said it. I thought it was that, but I ain't gonna get it wrong. Hemorrhagic.
function, both can be, extraordinarily serious. It's not easily spread from person to person. The mode of transmission is really through exposure to the rodent droppings or their urine, or those droppings can be disturbed and they go in the air and you can breathe it in and get it. It's something that everyone who's in the area of a rat dropping could be exposed. The symptoms are depending upon what form you've got, the renal form or the pulmonary form. But if it's the pulmonary, it's difficulty breathing, for both fatigue, headache. It is a very dangerous situation for cruise ship passengers. I would be worried because the incubation period for hantavirus can be up to a week. It's possible that more cases will arise, and it's uncertain at this stage what preventive and precaution measures the cruise ship undertook. There's no antiviral or so-called cure, but you need really intense management of the disease, and so you have to get somebody into really intensive care quite quickly. This is something that really shouldn't happen on a properly sanitized and hygienic ship.
Think about it though, bro. It's a perfect breeding ground for it because rodents are smart. They're gonna go where the food at. Straight up, man. If it's a lot of food, it's gonna be there, dog. Like when I worked in the French Quarter, bro, there's a lot of rats, man. It is what it is, man. If hantavirus come to, I hope it don't, knock on wood, but if it came to a dog, you working at French Quarter, bro, you better quit that job because that's what all the rats say.
So I was talking to my girl like 2 or.
Oh yeah, they ain't got nothing to do.
I would be worried.
All right, guys, well there you go, hantavirus, man. Y'all better stay safe out there. We're gonna keep we're gonna follow this closely, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated, bro. I'm leaving voice comments too, man, to the first people I come across, and randomly after that, you know what I'm saying? So hope y'all enjoyed the video.
Hype me up.
Uh-huh.
Hype me
Let's
up.
go.
Hype me up.